Hello friends, I'm bored, and before you ask, no, I can't go outside and touch grass.
Bitch, where?
And even if there were grass, I don't want to. Here's the thing, I have plenty of things I could be doing and some would say I ought to be doing, but the fact is, I don't want to do any of them. So, as one does when they are bored, they get on Reddit, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I figure since I'm about to scroll through Reddit anyways, I may as well invite you guys along and just talk out loud. 'Tis what it is, so let's do it. I feel like this is a weird setup. I feel like I'm in like a movie, not a movie, but like a music video. I don't know, but what I'm gonna do is, one, I hope you can hear me. I feel like maybe you should be close for me. Let's do that real quick. Oh yeah, here we go, muffin top. Okay, I guess it's somewhat better, not really, but we're just gonna sit and scroll. This is, why do I feel like I'm like in a fishbowl? I don't think that's making it any better. The fact is we're gonna sit and scroll, so let's just do that. Oh Lord. So what I'm gonna do is screen record off my phone and then we will chit chat together if I can figure out how to put this out. I really hope you can hear me well because I'm not using my microphone today. Do y'all like what I do with my wig? Put a little... Okay, besides the point. Anyways, let's see. Are we screen recording? 3, 2, 1. Let's find Reddit first. And then we'll go to it. Have a spot tea in it. Okay. I know I have some saved things in here that I wanted to look at because I do this thing sometimes where it's like I want to look at it and then I'll get like super invested in it and then suddenly I no longer care, and so then we end up where we are. Anyways, ooh. Okay, let's just go down the line. First one is from r/2hottakes, posted a day ago. Reads, I hate my engagement ring. My husband doesn't know. I, 25 female, and my husband, 24 male, have been together for over 3 years. We got engaged last winter and have been married now for 6 months. I hate the ring. Jacquelina would never. Anyways, I hate the ring. He wanted a traditional engagement, picked the ring himself, talked to my family first, one knee, etc. I showed him many photos of rings I liked. We even shopped together and picked a few we both loved. He ended up proposing with a ring that looks nothing like anything we had picked together. He told me later he showed his mom photos of what I liked, and in short, she disagreed. She didn't like that we had picked lab-created or moissanite. It's spelled Moissanite. I don't know how to pronounce that. Somebody correct me. Stones. She also told him the shapes I liked were dated. I guess her engagement ring... Come on, Flip. I guess her engagement ring... I lost my thing. I guess her engagement ring had one of these dated shapes originally, and she recently spent thousands to have it reset with a big, modern pear shape. She pushed him for real, so many quotation marks, good Lord, real diamonds, which blew his budget, so my husband picked a tiny diamond pair, comma, space, halo, comma, space, with stones around the band, so similar to his mom's, just smaller. I hate it. I struggle with sensory issues and the side stones pinch my fingers. I think about it all day, every day. I sometimes have to take it off while driving because it hurts to hold anything. I've worn the ring out of loyalty for my husband since he proposed. I bought my own wedding band and there is an extra E there. I didn't even mean to say it. I was confused. The ring is little enough. Oh, the engagement ring. Okay, clearly I'm not. Anyway. Oh! It's been 4 minutes. I don't know what's happening. I have it propped against my purse and my purse is failing me right now. So please just don't. Anyways, engagement ring is little enough I can hide it in a stack of other rings. I feel like a brat for hating it. It was far too expensive to be as ugly and poorly crafted as it is. He did not go to Jared's, okay? He went to Gerard's. I have to have it serviced almost monthly because the prongs on the side bend and snag my clothing. The jeweler I consult with has told me this can't be fixed due to the size. He's warned me that I will lose stones, likely most of them on the band, if a singular prong breaks. It's a constant reminder my husband picked his mom's taste over mine for a symbol of our commitment. I'd rather have green fingers from something meaningful than this purist crap. All right, you know me, I'm gonna scroll through as much as I can. So it says, this is from the first poster, Imaginarian_photos. You are staying silent to, and this is italicized, keep the peace. Here is the truth about, and it's a single quote, keeping the peace. Bold.
The person who's feeling pressure to keep the peace is never the one who's threatening the peace in the first place.
Sorry for that. It was all bold, though. This makes me think of the Don't Rock the Boat essay. I feel like this is like Don't Rock the Boat is what it should say. Here's the thing. And I'll go back to the original story just to make sure I'm not losing context here. Me personally, I feel like it's something that, okay, this is me saying this knowing dang well I have no room to be speaking on relationships at all. Like, I know it, you know it, we all know it. But I just personally feel like if for the person I see myself marrying, whatever, whenever that may be, whomever it may be, but the person I marry, the fact is you marrying me, not your mama, okay? So if I'm telling you what I like, your mom's opinion is her opinion, and I'm not going to knock her for it, but the fact is she is not the one who's wearing the ring. And so to me, like, I picked these out, right? Nothing special. These just rings in my hand. I wear them day to day. But let's say, again, it's something I'm supposed to wear day to day. I did not ask for your mama's opinion. Mother-in-law, whomever-in-law. Like, I am the one who is committing to you. And to me personally, any mother who has, like, an overbearing, like, presence in their son's relationship, it's giving Oedipus complex. And I'm not going to talk bad about nobody on this, but I definitely know of some people in my past life, okay, whose mothers were overly involved. That is a story for another day. But like, the fact is, I'm gonna just wrap it up for this one. I'm not marrying your mama, I'm marrying you. So if you're gonna go with your mom's opinion, go marry your mama. And I might actually have to be like Jacqueline and take the ring and go. All right, let's go to the next one. Because I'm not seeing no comments on here that are juicy. Yeah, it's all about, like, fighting for your feelings and, like, oh my gosh, fighting how you feel. Listen, be direct, darling, be direct. If this is you, tell him you don't like it. It's nothing against him, but the fact is, as a symbol of y'all's union and y'all's love and your commitment to one another, he need to get a new one. All right. Ooh, okay, let me unsave it so I can clear out of it. Next one. Ooh, this one is Am I the Booty Hole? Okay. I'm going to just tell you the title of this and y'all be able to see it. Am I the butthole for having another man's baby? I have to get the context because, ma'am. Okay, I, 28 female, have an open relationship with my 29 male husband. We have...
Wait a damn minute.
Wait. I'm sorry. Okay. Again, I haven't even started, but something just doesn't sit right to me about if you want to be in an open relationship, why get married? And I say that because I'm not sure the data. In fact, let me just look it up. Because, not y'all see my little library. In which states is adultery a crime? Don't know. So it's still a crime in 16 states. And I'm looking at these states, and I've been to almost every single one of these states, and I feel like many of these states are highly populous. Okay, anyways, let's go back to this. The reason I stop and say that is because to me, marriage is something that is legal. It's like legally backing what many see as like a religious ceremony. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm getting into it because for an open relationship and marriage to me are contradictory. And like, if you have a different opinion, please tell me. But like, they contradict one another in the sense that if the relationship's open, then you're not legally bound to this one person like you're getting the license for. And even if the whole purpose of the marriage is a sham, you want money, etc., I really do not care. To me, you shouldn't even be in an open relationship. I don't know, because it already sounds like this is about to be messy, but let me just put that aside. I cannot talk today. I'm gonna put it aside and we're gonna get into this. Okay. Open relationship with the husband. They've been married for 5 years and the last 2 years have been open. Yeah, see, that's what doesn't make sense. I know I said I wasn't gonna keep doing it, but here's the thing. Again, especially if you're in a state where adultery is still a crime, you don't have an open relationship, and I get that you're posting it anonymously, but like, don't let somebody be petty in this openness, because that's going to come down on you and you can be legally held to it. But anyways, during this time, I have had a number of health issues, mostly with my reproductive system, that I was told that I would likely be unlikely. That is not what it says. During this time, I have had a number of health issues, mostly with my reproductive system, that I was told that it would be unlikely to conceive. It was a run-on sentence. I think that's what like tripped me up. Anyways, last December, I started to see this guy and we hit it off and saw each other regularly. The end of February, I found out I was pregnant with twins and it is his babies. P.S. I was on birth control. It took me a few weeks to wrap my head around things and tell my husband. At first, he was supportive and said, I love you and these babies. I love you and these babies are a part of you, so I will love them too. Good Lord, I need some punctuation. I am so sorry. I would love them too. A few weeks later, he changed his mind after realizing that the father wasn't just going to walk away from the kids. He said he would be okay with it as long as the biological father of the twins were not a part of their lives. That don't make no sense to me. If the father's not just going to walk away, to me that implies he wants to be a part of their lives, but I don't know. For background, his mother had him as a teenager and he has had a stepdad for his entire life and has an estranged relationship with his biological father. Although he had a stepdad, he always wanted his biological father to play a bigger role than ever he did. I'm confusing myself, but we're going to push through it. I don't understand how he cannot relate to the situation and expect the kids to want nothing to do with their biological father. 2 weeks ago, he planted the seed that I have to get an abortion or else he'd never be happy. Red frickin' flag. Anyways, at 3 a.m. this morning, he left me a letter before leaving on a work trip that said it's the babies or divorce. I feel conflicted because what if this is the only time I can have kids? Understood, ... It hasn't happened in years, and it's that what if it never happens again factor that has made things so difficult for me. If he had had the same stance on things from the beginning when I told him at 10 weeks, I would understand, but the fact he waited till I am 17 weeks along, to reveal how he really feels is messed up because I'm almost halfway through the pregnancy. Does he expect there to be no resentment and I do the procedure and we act like nothing happened and go on being married? Am I the butthole? Let me just say this. First of all, you can't have the procedure at 17 months, to my knowledge. Not going to get into pro-life choice, whatever. You know, I know how I feel about it and how you feel about it. You can feel about it. This is not what this is about. The fact is, I will say legally in most states, if they do have any protected choice laws, it usually ends at 15 weeks unless there is some type of medical emergency. So shorty, you keeping the babies. I'm sorry. That aside, though, I see two parts of it. I think both of them suck. Because here's the thing. I mean, maybe this is because I'm a selfish person. I'm not sharing my mans with nobody. Don't fall again. I keep moving too much. Anyways, I'm not sharing my mans with nobody. That's just a fact. Let me see if switching the side of the purse this is on helps. That's just a fact. But beyond... All right, sis. Because what's your problem today? Why are we acting boo-boo today? I guess Oh, my lord. Okay, hold on. Pause for dramatic effect, because... Okay, I have something else now to keep it intact in the background. Got my wig all over my face, Lord. Where was I? I think both of them suck, and here's why. First and foremost, and maybe this is me just not understanding what an open relationship entails, and I think I'm okay with that. I think, though, boundaries should have been set, 2 years prior when they started the open relationship, because acknowledging that she has trouble conceiving, I completely understand why she wants to keep these kids. Believe me, I do. But to that same point, if boundaries weren't set within the open relationship where, was it emotionally open? Most people being physically open, and I'm aware of that. What's on and off boundaries? She said she was on birth control. Birth control doesn't always fail. So maybe that was a conversation to be had about what type of other contraceptives are you using, if that seems to be important to him, because he doesn't want nobody else seed in his field that he, is trying to plow himself. But to that same point, I wonder on the other hand, okay, if the roles were reversed and whatnot, assuming everything the same, but he got another girl pregnant, I wonder how she would feel about it. Because the fact is, I think he's entitled to feel some type of way about her being pregnant by another man, notwithstanding that they decided to be in an open relationship. But to that point again, whatever boundaries may or may not have been established, to me that means, to me a divorce is kind of, okay. And this was me in 2023. I personally don't ever want to get divorced, but none of that matters because I'm not even engaged and I'm not married. But if, I also don't think I'd ever get an open relationship. But again, besides the point, I think that some communication needs to happen pretty much. Like either, she's going to keep the babies and maybe the husband is just like gonna have to come around. That sounds very harsh and I don't really think it works that easily anyways. But like either way, like maybe divorce is the option. And I understand that the woman really is attached to her husband, duh. But at the same time, then why would you let yourself get pregnant by another guy? Again, I don't know what boundaries they set for the open relationship. I've never been in one, don't plan on it. So I don't know. Y'all tell me. If y'all have been in one, you tell me what's up with it. But to the same point, it sounds like if the guy who got her pregnant wants to be a part of her life experience, etc., then perhaps, okay, and this is just me, perhaps figure out how to co-parent maybe. I think it's wrong to rob the twins of their biological father, especially if he's wanting to be present. And the fact is you don't know what's going to happen when the twins are actually born. I know I probably would have a hard time with like one baby, let alone two at once. So that tends to change people. But let's see what the Reddit community has to say. Damn. Okay, so Chelsea 5532 said, your marriage is already over. I concur. There are no winners or a happy outcome for all people involved. Someone will always be unhappy. Better to end it sooner rather than later. This is facts. And this is why I also don't believe in like threesomes or none of that stuff. You nasty. Okay, get your butt in church.
I'm kidding. This is a mostly judgment-free zone. You're on Reddit to judge, okay?
Anyways, though, I just don't believe like whenever more than two are involved, it's always messy. And I don't care what people say at the beginning. The fact is one person is always going to feel left out. And that is just for like, regular stuff. Like if everybody doesn't feel included, in which this case, like parenthood is kind of like, it's multifaceted. But when I'm married, okay, if I were married to somebody and had a baby by another dude, I would completely understand him wanting to leave me. So preach. Somebody says, oh, this is old mama speaks. Okay. I think it's supposed to be yeesh. It says yesh. OP. If you want children, pick the babies. Facts, because it seems like that is a priority for her. Do pick the babies, but understand that there are consequences. If you pick him, he is very, very likely to make you rue that choice in the end. Also facts, because I feel like I would resent somebody who's trying to force me to make a choice about my body and what I'm trying to do, when I know the hardships I've faced throughout my life and being a woman, etc. And this is why I'm tired of men trying to make like decisions about women's body, but that's another discussion for another day. Anyways, He will hold it over your head or mope about it, or he will be callously indifferent to what you sacrifice for him. I don't see how your marriage can survive this. One of you is going to be resentful of, this should be 4, I think, for the rest of your lives. Lethal_opossum says, yes, and if she does get pregnant by him later, he'll always make asinine comments about not being sure if they're really his or not. I could see that happening too. I think OP should leave. Her husband is inconsiderate. They both knew the risk when they decided to open their relationship. See, I said it. He's not being a reasonable adult about this. Okay, I'm gonna disagree with that, and I think the comment goes on, so let me see if my disagreement is the same reason as theirs. Edit : when I say her husband is being unreasonable, I mean by asking her to abort this late. That's, okay, very unreasonable. They both suck. I concur. I don't think it's right to force parenthood on anyone who doesn't want to be a parent. OP does, he doesn't. These are irreconcilable differences. All right, and then always go outside says, it depends on what the result of the conversation was about getting pregnant when opening up. There should have been a clear understanding from both sides what each individual wanted. There does not have to be an agreement, but each side needs to understand what the other person's stated. Actions, what? The other person's stated actions would be on discovering pregnancy. That is an informed decision on risk tolerance. Sounds like that was never talked about. You know, I already said it. Considering OP's health issues and difficulties conceiving normally and the fact she was on birth control that failed, it's clear this wasn't her not being careful and more a really unlikely and unexpected surprise. Birth control can fail. They definitely should have discussed it earlier, but it sounds like they did discuss it when she found out and he wanted her to keep the babies and is only changing his mind now after it's much more difficult to abort and she has an emotional bond to them. It's odd he changed his mind like that. Either he lied to her when they first discussed it, or someone has been whispering stuff in his ear. I also hope they discussed what his expectations would be if he got another woman. I'd be on top of stuff. Let me tell you something, because this is what I'm saying. I am Reddit, and Reddit is me up in here. Because if he had double standards on that front, he's a hypocrite. Personally, I think no matter how this goes down, the marriage is probably over, as there's no way either of them is going to be happy here. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm really about to read through all of this on camera. I'm gonna keep this one saved because it's a little juicy, but there's a lot to go through. Yeah, there's a lot. I've said my thoughts. It seems like a lot of the thoughts that I've had are in this thread, so I'm gonna keep it saved. Y'all let me know what you think about this one, and we're gonna go to the other one because I'm still bored. All right, this one is r/am I wrong? Okay. Title is, I didn't go to Brothers Gathering because it was Mother's Day. Mother's Day was in fact very recent. Okay. I got invited to my half-brother's house because he wanted to celebrate his daughter's baptism. He invited the whole family, but because it's Mother's Day, no one from one side of our family went. My mother didn't want to go, and I didn't thought... I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out what this sentence is trying to say. I know I speak in cursive sometimes, but the reading comprehension is hard when the grammar is incorrect, and that sounds so uppity and snooty, but because my brain moves so fast, I feel like I'm speaking too fast for this. My mother didn't want to go, and I didn't thought it'd be nice to leave her today of all days. I think I didn't think it'd be nice to leave her today of all days. It's okay. I understand English is not everybody's first language, and that's okay. It was my brain fart. So I told him I wouldn't be present, but wished them a good day regardless. I should note everyone was meant to be there at 1 p.m., which is the time people are usually eating lunch and celebrating Mother's Day. When my other brother got off work, he went to visit him at night, not 1 p.m., and said we were in the wrong for not going, as if we didn't care about them. Am I in the wrong for not going there, considering he wanted to celebrate specifically on Mother's Day? And then as a note, he says, well, I don't know if this is he or she, but the OP, okay, the original poster, says, me and my half-brother have a different mom. Ooh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Just thought I'd include this information. All right, is he wrong? No, I say no, and this is why. Understanding the half brother is still family, like family is family. I don't think you're wrong to celebrate your mother if that's how you see fit, especially on Mother's Day. Now, were there certain compromises that could be had? Absolutely. I know, for example, my family tends to celebrate Mother's Day around the day versus on the day because everything goes crazy and prices jump up and yada yada yada, and sometimes they might be busy. So for example, I know this year my mom celebrated my grandma the day before, and when I called my mom on Mother's Day, she scolded me for interrupting her in church. I am 3 time zones behind, so I forgot, and I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. But she was driving, she was on the road, she was working, so it's not like she was, going out to dinner that day or whatever. So I think as a possible compromise, and this is me like talking to, if I were in this situation, I had a sibling, half sibling who wanted me there for their child's baptism, and I knew it fell on Mother's Day. First thing I would do is, one, not commit to the baptism, acknowledging it's Mother's Day, but then tell my sibling, hey, let me go speak to my mom about what she'd like to do for Mother's Day, because this is what I was planning for her. And then if she's flexible to that timeline, I can get to both, or yada, yada, yada. It could be that I'm celebrating my mother earlier on that day, later on that day. So I guess before 1 p.m. or after 1 p.m., but I know 1 p.m. is that is peak Mother's Day time. I know, I went out, obviously not for Mother's Day, but Sunday, I was out, went to a place called Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. Pretty good, pretty packed, and I'm so glad I put my name on the wait list because it got up to an hour plus, and we were able to go in there and sit, eat that food, and go. But Mother's Day was packed in there, and I know a lot of people know that, and I understand why the half brother might be upset because they want the support of the family. But again, depending the conversation and the outcome could have been the same, where the mom was like, actually, no, I'm working earlier, or I don't want to push it late because, it's Mother's Day and I want to do it on this day. Maybe she want pictures taken. Maybe she already had plans to get her hair done, nails done, everything did, and she is fancy. So this one's kind of nuanced. Let's see what the internet has to say. It says, not the butthole. They knew, well, dang. They knew damn well this was going to be an issue when they planned the baptism. It's not like they couldn't predict that schedules were going to conflict. I mean, yes, they could have said it nicer. Says, you're definitely not in the wrong here. When they decided to schedule this baptism party on Mother's Day, they should have known that there were going to be conflicts of interest here. For all the people saying Mother's Day is every year, but a baptism is only once, ... To that, I can respond, they could have planned it on any other day besides Mother's Day. Play stupid games and win stupid prizes. These people are kind of harsh about it. I feel like I was trying to be like, cupcakes and rainbows. No, let me compromise. These people are like, no, you're not wrong. Your half-brother's wrong. He knew it was Mother's Day. And here's the thing. Maybe it was also something special where the half-brother's wife, and the wife and the daughter, so it's like the spiritual birth of the daughter, plus the mom is there to witness. So maybe it was a combined thing. I don't know. What I will say, though, is I personally feel like I wouldn't schedule a baptism on Mother's Day Sunday, nor would I do it on, well, some people like the symbolism of Easter Sunday, because he is risen, I am risen, type thing. But I feel like I wouldn't plan it around a Sunday where I know it's going to be something big, purely because if I want the audience there and I know everybody on this earth got a mama, hopefully alive. If not, I am so sorry. But, everybody came from a woman on this earth, so I know, it can be special to some people. I know for other people, you have a terrible relationship with your mom, so just forget the whole day. Throw it away. I don't care. Maybe you would be there for the baptism. But yeah, sounds like some late planning on his part. The baptism could have been moved on a non-Mother's Day holiday. Your half-brother is a moron for scheduling a special occasion on a day where many families already have plans. No. This seems like your brother's snafu, so he missed that this was Mother's Day, but did his wife, the priest, and nobody remember this? Should have talked to his mom about this beforehand. Snarky. Someone says, I'm not sure why you needed to be by your mother's side all day long, and she chose not to go. She could have. If I was your brother, I'd be hurt. I'd equally like to know, too, because I didn't really say this up front, but I'd like to know, I mean, they have different moms, but I wonder if the original poster's mom is the one who kind of took both of them in, maybe, or something like that. Acknowledging they have different moms, and maybe that's why he's heard about both of them not going. I mean, the fact is the OP's mom said, I'm not going to go, and if I'm with moms, I'm with moms. And yes, Mother's Day can be an all-day event, so I don't understand why this person is who is it? Way back heart mom. Of course you would have mom and dad. Getting an attitude when you got mom in your name Anyways, this person is saying you don't have to be by your mom's side all day, but the fact is, it's Mother's Day, not Mother's Hour. So when I become a mama, y'all better be at my side. That's what I do now. So tradition for them to eat lunch with mom. This is just more information I'm pulling from it. Tradition for them to eat lunch with mom. So each of them go to their own mother's house for lunch, which is the reason why half the family didn't go. It's not all day. Seems like the brother just didn't communicate. I don't know. Look, there's no law. This person is arguing the way back heart mom. Look, there's no law stating you have to have lunch on Mother's Day. Brunch is more common, actually. First of all, brunch hours are like 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., so check yourself. Brunch is more common, actually. There's also no reason lunch has to be at 1 p.m. It's clear you did not want to go. You don't have to, but don't expect your brother not to be hurt. There isn't any law, but it's a tradition in my whole family for it being lunch. This is the original poster. My mother was preparing it. Seemed rude to leave her when she was making food. Baptism happens once, Mother's Day yearly, but I don't think there was really a wrong choice. It's two different family events at the same time. Clear communication is needed, like how certain times don't work, how long a lunch or celebration will last. Could have done both, but you're not wrong for making a decision to do only one event. So yeah, multi-layered. If it hadn't been like a traditional like yearly lunch, maybe they could have been like, okay, we'll do the baptism at 1 and take mom out to dinner. Me personally, I probably wouldn't have gone either. And I don't know, maybe my siblings would beef about it. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's see. I think I can do like 2 more. So let's do this. This is also from r/am I wrong? Am I wrong for being upset at my husband? Oh, this is Mother's Day themed. I don't really want to do another Mother's Day one. Hold on. Let's do this one because actually, why did I save this one? All right, this seems juicy. This is r/am I wrong still? Is this racist? Question mark. I'm skeptical, but let me read it because for me, sometimes when people have to ask if something's racist, it probably is, but I know it's not always. So let's read it. I was having a discussion with someone and I know about a comment one of my friends made, comma, my friend doesn't think it's racist, comma, but I do, question mark. Help me out here. The comment is, quote, it's rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language. His point being that how can it be racist when you're not directly singling out one race or insulting them? Okay, just so I make sure I understand, let me make sure I understand real quick. The friend made a comment that said it's rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language. So the OP's friend said it's rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language. And the OP is asking if the comment is racist because the OP thinks it is. I think I'm confused because none of this has to do with race. But anyways, here's my thoughts on just the comment itself, which is it's rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language. I say freaking facts, okay? And hear me TF out. I lived abroad for a while, as I think is evident from some of my other YouTube posts. I lived abroad. I enjoyed most of it. Like, yes, there's racism, especially in Asia. There is. The amount of people who came up, touched my hair or my wig, my natural hair when it would be out too, who come rub my skin and stuff to see if it was real. Yes, it's freaking rude. But what's ruder though, and I'm okay, let me organize my thoughts. It is absolutely rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language. And I say that, I agree, because the amount of people who would go to South Korea and then complain, like, why don't they speak English? And why not speak to me in English? And hello, do you speak English, please? Sir, ma'am, English is not their first language. Hangul is. You know, they're speaking their native tongue here. They have English signs, don't get me wrong, especially when you're driving, and they do have people who can speak English. But I think it would be audacious, okay? And you would have to have the audacity and the caucasity to go to somebody else's country and be like, you speak English. Demand for them to speak English. It's absurd. And I think when you're visiting somebody's country And I'm gonna say this for non-English speaking countries because I speak English, so whatever. But when I traveled, which I also haven't posted those videos, but I will be. Anyways, when I traveled to all the different countries, I tried to maybe not learn the language in the 4 days I was there, but pick up on key phrases and learn how to say like thank you, please, ask for help, etc. in their tongue. Because who am I to go to Laos or Cambodia or Malaysia and then force them to be like, well, I'm a foreigner and I'm traveling and I'm a tourist and therefore you should cater to me. Because let somebody come to me and be like, you should speak my just like that. Like, I don't know who you think you're talking to. But first of all, if you're going to talk to me, address me in my language. And I think on the flip side of that too is I will never understand why, like, I think to the same point is like people, it's probably the same people who like try to argue like America's a melting pot. Okay, that's just fact. I'm starting my train of thought over. America is a melting pot. Yes. Plenty of people, plenty of different languages. And yes, English is the official language of like the professions that occur in the States. But the fact is, like, for example, I'm in Arizona right now. I could give two craps if somebody wants to go into a store and speak Spanish and the person who's there also speaks Spanish. I'm not offended by it. The fact is they can also communicate with me in English too. And many people don't know this, but when I am drunk, okay, when I've been sipping, my Spanish be a little nice. Hola. Anyways, that was corny, I know. But no, it's like the Karens who demand that people speak English in America, or you speak American, you gosh darn gonna speak American in America, because we're Americans here and we don't speak that gosh darn foreign language. You know those people? So yeah, imagine how pressed older white people, I don't know why I say it like that. Just imagine how pressed some people be when people come to the States and are in fact attempting to learn English and the English happens to be broken and then they belittle them for that. So keep that same energy when it comes to you, an English speaker, you an American traveling to a country that's non-English speaking. And say, oh, come to me, like I'm terrible. My Korean is awful, okay? But the fact is, people can appreciate the attempt and the effort even if you sound a mess, okay? I probably sounded like a little bumpkin when I was over in Korea trying to order stuff. But the fact is, I attempted to speak their language and I was definitely not gonna critique or belittle somebody for being in their language and not speaking to me in English. And especially, I feel like, especially on vacation where like you're literally a visitor passing through, you don't have to be here all the time. There's nothing racist about it. Anyways, let me get off my soapbox and just scroll through these comments because I 100% went on a tangent. Okay, so yeah, somebody says, call me now, jerk. That's the person's handle. Says, what about that would possibly be racist, question mark? It doesn't even have anything to do with race, to which somebody named no_skishity8249 replied, it absolutely has to do with race and being a foreigner. This is nothing but a dog whistle for buttholes who hate immigrants. Not learning your language is not rude. It only hurts them. It's not even about language. It's really about immigrants just being there. I don't understand what that comment means. If somebody can explain it to me, please do, because I'm gonna go to the next thing. Oh, he got fired. The OP said he got fired from work for saying it. How do you get fired from work for saying it's rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language? Because I think we need more context here, because I can see it absolutely being, okay, remember what I gave as an example before, where it's like people will immigrate into the United States, acknowledging that English is not their first language, but the fact is they are trying, and sometimes you have a heavier accent when you're trying to speak English. That is fine. Honestly, there's people from the southeast of the United States who have a thick accent, dialect, wherever you call it, especially from the Carolinas, okay? And if you from the South, you know that it's not the Texas twang and it's not a draw like them folks from South Carolina and Baltimore. I'm sorry if you're from Baltimore, but the dirt, I don't know what to do. That never made no sense to me. Or my friends, ooh, I'm ashy. I'm glad y'all can't see my feet. But anyways, I have friends from Maryland and from that area who be like, but they spell it A-R-D. That is not I, that says ARD. And we used to talk about it all the time because I'm like, slang is slang, but art is not one of the slang things I recognize. I don't know. So maybe if the comment said was that It's rude to go to another country and attempt to learn the language, said to an employee who is very clearly not necessarily like American by nationality. Maybe they've been naturalized as a citizen. Maybe they're there on a work visa, attempting to gain their citizenship, etc. Then yes, it's insulting. And it's insulting in the sense of people come here for the American dream. Don't even get me started on how I feel about that because I think it's a nightmare. I'm kidding, kind of. The dream looks different based on your skin tone. But anyways, I can understand that people might feel, I'm so sorry, my friend is texting me. Girl, it's on my iPad screen, I'm sorry. Okay. When I travel, yes, it's good to learn the language, but I would hate to be belittled in South Korea for attempting to speak, South Korean, read, write, understand, Hangul, and I'm attempting, and then somebody's berating me for it. That'd be really rude. And I think to the same point, it's rude of this person to say, because I see it being said possibly in a way that's like, oh, you foreigner. I don't know how people talk like that. I don't know, but you foreigner, your accent's too heavy and it's unprofessional and you'll never make it in this foreign field type thing. I don't really know. But yeah, let me see if there's more context added by the OP. And whose fault is that? You thought it was racist and I doubt that other people did. There's a lot of missing information here. Yeah. So, scenario, global, okay. Oh, so they're in England, actually. The OP says, I completely understand that. I feel like that, okay. Let me read the first comment and then what the OP is responding to. So the first one is by CMUD5386. So this scenario has a lot of racist overtones. Global North tourist, say a monolingual American, goes to another country and expects, because English is the superior language, all the local people to speak it, that the U.S. tourists will be catered to in terms of expectations and taste, and that the local people should want to do this to take part in a superior culture. That's pretty gross. It tends to happen in scenarios where there is a race difference and a perception that one group is better than another and the inferior group should bend over backwards for their betters. OP says, I completely understand that. I feel like the difference is that this is England, where English is the dominant language, where English is taught in schools, signs are in English. You walk into a shop and you expect that person to speak English. Yeah, someone is saying it depends on the context. Was your friend referring to someone he overheard speaking a different language, even indirectly or something like that? If so, then yes. Ooh, see? And this is, okay, now he's wrong. So the OP says, yeah, he was serving a customer in a news agent he worked in. I assume that's the agency he worked in and couldn't understand them at all. That is highly prejudiced. So yes, I concur now. I get what they're saying now. I thought maybe this person was just like, responding to the OP who's like, oh, I took a holiday, okay? Took a holiday. I went down to Morocco and they speak Arabic there. And I am, I didn't feel the need to learn Arabic while I was there or say any phrases. I don't know what accent that was. I started sounding country at the end. Anyways, like I thought the OP was like maybe he went somewhere and didn't want to speak the local language. And so then the person responded to like, I think it's, it's rude to go to another country and not attempt to learn the language. But the shoe flips in this sense where just because somebody might be difficult to understand where they're trying to speak your language to you does not negate the fact that they are trying. And honestly, when I was in South Korea, there are many times where it was like pure pantomiming where you just, point things and yeah. And then I just end it with a bow, kamsahamnida, and keep it pushing, okay? Pantomime works just fine. And worst comes to worst, there are so many apps. There's Papago, I think is what it's called. There's Google Translate. You can literally speak into a phone now, and if you need something to be said, like it'll translate it for you. So like I remember going to not Daiso. Of course I can't remember because I feel like it's not even been that long since I was in Korea. I just can't remember the name, but it was like a grocery store, and I went to the checkout, and like it was me and this sweet little old lady, and we could not understand each other. And so I was talking into my phone and having it translated, to speak Korean, and then like holding it to her to be like, help. You know? So yeah, I don't even know. I feel like the OP is trying to like, I feel like the OP intentionally didn't even include context. Let me know what y'all think about this. I think with the context added, yes, I see it as problematic. Racist, maybe not. Prejudice, absolutely. Discriminatory, 100%. I think racism is thrown around a lot when that's like definitely the umbrella of what I just mentioned. Like this the umbrella for prejudice and discrimination, you know. But to me, it's more prejudicial and discriminatory than about the race because first of all, race being a social construct, and they're talking about a language, which to me is like cultural and like whatever. You can be, you know, I don't know, ethnically Russian, for example. I don't know if I should talk about that, but ethnic Russians, for example, some are from the Caucasus. Okay, the Caucasus. Whatever the mountain chains are that are more to like the west of Russia. And then you have like the southern and eastern portions, which definitely are more like, you know, toward Asian countries like China. You have the Mongols, etc. to the south, I think. I'm not looking at a globe right now, but you know what I mean? So across Russia, you have people who are Russian by nationality, and they may speak the Russian language, but upon first glance at them, you may not assume that they are Russian because what we think of Russia is like, I don't know, like Siberia, ice princess, blonde hair, blue eye, cold stare. Maybe, I don't know, Vladimir has dark hair, but like you think of a certain like brand of white pretty much when you think of Russia. You don't think of all the other like subsets of people who are, I don't know if you can call them native Russian, but like the people who have more features that align with the Asian portion of the continent than like the European portion of the, not the continent, the country. Anyways, I think I'll do one more and then I need a snack, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this one I just saved because it was juicy, but dude left out a lot of context and I don't like that. All right, here's this one. This one seems like it's kind of gonna be funny, so let's finish off with a little bit of humor. This one's r/am I wrong, and the title is Am I Wrong for Punching Back 4 days later? Without any context, I'm gonna just set this down. Without context, I'm gonna just say no. And I say no because I have siblings and I just know sometimes like you have to play the long game with your siblings. Like they may hit you one day and like they think that you've matured and whatever, like, you know what, like, yeah, I'm not gonna hit back. And they'll be like, whoa, she didn't even hit back. Okay, like she didn't hit back, whatever. Like, nope. I'm playing the long game, and it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not even be this week, but I'm gonna get you back. I'm not saying this now, okay, me in my 20s, but certainly me, like, as a kid, like, single digit going into, like, my preteen years, 100% not wrong to punch somebody 4 days later, but I think maybe as an adult, wrong, but I understand the long game. I'm petty queen over here, okay, ooh. I hope my screen recording saved because that would be so unfortunate. Let me check real quick. Oh my gosh, it did not save. Hold on. I hate it here. I just knew it was gonna happen too. I hate it here. Anyways.
As y'all might be able to tell, it did save and all is well in the kingdom.
It says, so on Monday, a kid was mad at someone. I just asked him why. Okay. The run-on sentences have to stop. So on Monday, a kid was mad at someone. I just asked him why he's mad and said, chill out. He then punched me in the face without any good reason. The punch is warranted. I don't even need to finish this. Okay, let me finish. On Friday, I realized every time someone punched me, I just ignored it. That made me so mad. I went to him and I punched him straight on the nose. The principal gave me the fault. And I got expelled. What's your opinion on that? Okay, I shouldn't laugh. Violence is not funny and is not the answer. Someone said, of course you're wrong. He was wrong for what he did, but instead of talking to someone and handling it when it happened, he chose to go up to him at a different time and punch him out of the blue. Well, it sounds like he was punched out of the blue too. Maybe I'm not as mature as I think I am because me as a kid, would I do the same thing to my sibling? Absolutely. It says things that didn't happen for 2000, please, Alex. Petty. Oh, my screen recording did save. Look at God. Okay, I can show them again. Anyways. It says, it did happen. English is not my first language. That's why I had to improve on some words. It makes the text sound weird and unrealistic. It was unwarranted, just like the kid punching you was, but you at least were hitting him back and not just unloading violence onto someone that had nothing to do with the original problem. See? Someone said that you were really, really stupid when he punched you on Monday. You should have told someone. You can't just decide days later to punch him back and expect not to get in trouble. So he just got suspended. Sometimes even when you're right, you still face punishment. It's called real life. You do what you had to do for you, no one else, but society still has rules. You'll be all right. Now, me personally, I'd be like, pull the tapes, because if I'm out, he out. But maybe that's me. Maybe that's me. That's petty me talking. Me as, you know, delivered to Nia in 2023 year of our Lord. I would have snitched on the block when he punched me. And I would have dragged it, so I would have made sure to roll on the ground and, you know, had to drag it out. I would have had to, on principle. Well, I guess my boredom has been quenched. I don't know if that's a good phrase or not. I currently do still have the things to do that I don't want to do, so I'm still not going to do them. But I don't know. It's like overcast outside. It's supposed to storm, but it's the desert and it's really not looking like any water finna fall. So maybe I'll put on a little, you know, gym threads and go for a walk, maybe a little run, maybe not a run, maybe a jog. I don't know. Thank you for hanging out with me to go over these Reddits. Again, let me know what you think about them. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you made it this far, drop me a baby emoji, because I'm still on the fence about, well, not really on the fence, but I think that story was OD. So yeah, drop me a baby emoji if you made it this far. Love you long time. Thanks to all 54 of you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye. I want to get this working. Play. 10, 50.